So to mark what would have been 20 years of Motorrad Days this weekend, we are joined by one of Motorrad Days' favourite guests, a regular superstar, BMW Motorrad stunt rider, Mattie Griffin. Mattie, welcome.
Thanks very much. Yeah, as I said, nice to be here, but it would be nicer to be at Garmisch, however. But yeah, we're here.
So you spending much time this weekend pretending you're at Garmisch? Have you got a big long table full of beer steins set up yet, or?
No, unfortunately not. Yeah, unfortunately not. But I mean, I guess it is what it is, isn't it? And we'll just make next year more special, I guess, won't we?
100%. So I've got a few questions I think a lot of people would like to hear from you as well. I mean, it's been the same for everyone. We've all been hidden away in lockdown, passing the time on various things, fixing bikes, watching Netflix. How have you been passing the time over lockdown?
I guess spending the time, there's lots of things I would have liked to have done, but it would have been a lockdown. You can't move around, you can't go places. So I get to catch up a lot and spend a lot of time with my family, I guess, and cleaning my workshop, which is a big one. Finding tools that I thought were gone forever. Tidying up the workshop. I guess I started a brand new motorhome build last year, and it dragged on a bit longer than I expected. So I got to do quite a bit of work with that, finishing with that, and catching up on a lot of things, catching up on a lot of work. I'm a bit of a one-man show. I like to be kind of in control, so I'm the secretary, I'm the mechanic, and I'm the bike cleaner, and I'm the rider, most importantly. So I got to catch up on a lot of work, I guess, really.
Good. Productive lockdown for you then.
Yeah, I guess so. I'd rather not have, of course we'd rather not be in this situation, but I suppose you have to take the good out of everything, don't you? You have to look at the good side of everything.
Definitely. So a little bit about your background. Obviously, you've been a stunt rider for a while now. How long exactly have you been sort of professionally stunt riding? And then before that, how long were you sort of in it as a keen amateur?
I guess, are you trying to find out my age here? Do the calculations. I guess I'm stunt riding professionally 15 years. Before that, I guess I was, I think some people think I was born on a bike. I probably was. I am, since I was probably 6 years old, just crazy about bikes. Before 6, you couldn't get me off my BMX. That's kind of the way it's been. I've basically just been two wheels crazy since I was born.
Awesome. And what made you sort of channel into particularly sport bike stunt riding?
I think it was when I was around 6 and I realised I was useless at soccer. No, I don't know. It's just I can't explain it. I mean, my dad was a mechanic, and we were brought up kind of in the junkyard place with cars and the trucks and the machines and all this kind of stuff. So I suppose it an interest early on in driving. We always wanted to drive. My dad pestered since a young age, please teach us to drive, please let us drive, can I drive? That's the way it was. And then I suppose when a bike came in one day, I mean, I was pretty young, but it was a big motocrosser bike that a cousin of mine had, and the throttle slide was sticking on it, and my dad fixed it in like no time, and it took him a couple of days to come back to collect the bike, but I think I probably put about like 30 hours up on that bike before he came back. So I think from there, I've just been always crazy about two wheels, no matter what it is, just to get my leg over and get that bike going. I just loved it, the feeling of it. Always crazy for two wheels. And I am useless at soccer, just to get that point across. But I don't think that's the reason why I went down this line. But when I was a kid, the kids were all playing soccer, playing out on the street, and I was just looking for money down the back of the armchair of my parents' house to try and see, can I get some money for petrol to get on my bike,
Awesome. You mentioned earlier you're the secretary, the events manager, the tour manager, the mechanic. The bikes themselves, I mean, we've seen your bikes at shows. They're beautiful creations and
Thanks.
they're really special bits of kit. Now, what does it take to turn a production motorcycle? I believe you've been working with the F900R.
Yeah, that's right.
What does it take to turn a bike like that from, you know, the bikes that we all ride on the street to what you're performing on?
I don't want to like drag it out or bore anyone, but I mean, there's a lot to do with it. But I mean, what I always start with, some people are like, oh, how do you make it into a stunt bike? I start with by getting the point across that the engine in my, let's say that the F800Rs I've just used for 10 years solid, or even longer, but we say the last 10 years. The engine is stock, frame is stock, swing arm, everything is stock around there. The only thing I have is got an idle adjuster that I can just turn up my idle. So when I do my no hand stuff, balancing and stuff, I can, you know, just work the brake against the, you know, 3,000 RPMs. But other than that, the engine, everything is stock. You know, I think people think that BMW take this and bring it into a hideaway and there's special things done with it. There's not. It's pretty much a stock bike, except for, okay, you've got a foot rail on the back, which you can see. You know, there's a saddle. I've got a slight hump on the saddle just when I'm sitting down, no hand stuff, and I take my hands off. I need something to keep me on that bike, you know. Got the engine protection cage, a couple of like straight handlebars, some upgraded brakes. You know, I've got Magora there, been very good to me actually for probably as many years as BMW now. You know, with the products and. You know, brake lines, just the regular things you see, you know, a bigger sprocket. I've got an extra brake lever up on my left side on my handlebar, but like after that, there's no hidden things. There's nothing hidden, you know, there really isn't.
So then the big question, I guess, that all of us who've done a few wheelies and want to be better is, I mean, a lot of that stuff is you're pushing the limits with your stunt shows.
Yeah.
How much can you do on a stock bike?
The limits are still being pushed all the time, you know. I think in the last years, I know, in my opinion, I think this stunt riding has kind of branched off kind of two different ways. There's different styles, two different styles, I think, you know. There's a lot of people really like the smoke and a lot of drifting and stuff like that. And I love challenge myself with, you know, when I'm on that bike, for me, that ground is like lava. You know, I don't want to put my foot on it. So for me, I want to carry out all my stunts of climbing around, whatever I have to do without touching that ground. I guess it's probably from the trials riding background where you lose your points when you dip your foot. So for me, the last thing I want to do is put my foot on the ground, even if it's a really cool trick and I'm about to go into another one. If I put my foot down, I'm like myself, I fail myself. I want to do that without putting my foot down, you know. So yeah, it's a strange one, you know. It's I just love the freestyle. That's what I love about this stunt riding as well, is you know, when I go out there, people look at me and go, you know, do you have a exactly set routine? I'm looking going, absolutely not. I go out, check what the conditions are, how the crowd is reacting, where the crowd are, how close they are to me. When they're nice and close, I love to like take off up there, leave my back wheel like right beside them. I love to interact with the crowd. You know, I love you know, that showman side of it. Some people go out there, they go absolutely nuts, do these crazy cool stunts, but no interaction with the crowd, you know. Or that's, for me, I love to work with the crowd.
Yeah, that's cool. And what I like there the most is that you just simplified trials into basically a big game of ground is lava, which...
Yeah.
So when you talk about the shows, obviously, do you get much nerves before a show? What sort of preparation do you go through before you go out to the show?
Good question. When I started stunt riding, going back when I started, for me, the smaller the crowd was, the more I felt better. You know, I felt better in myself. I didn't feel as nervous. Now, the bigger the crowd is, the louder the crowd is, the better I perform. I push it out there, you know, in a safe manner, you know, I obviously in a safe manner, but I really give them everything. You know, I love it when there's a huge crowd and they're making noise, when they're appreciative. I just love it. I perform better. You know, that's the way it is now. Physically, you need to be in top shape. You know, you really need to be in top shape. And mentally, I guess the thing that I love shows, I love performing. I actually miss it. I really miss it. I didn't realize how much I'd miss it until this came along. But what does make me nervous is the surroundings, the ground, how slippery it is, if there's slopes, if there's humps, bumps in it, you know, that's where it gets scary for me, you know. Because I'm on a knife edge. I'm on like the edge of my tire. I'm sitting backwards, doing a burnout, drifting backwards, and you hit something, you're gone. You're gone off the bike or whatever. So, you know, when I get good surroundings, like for instance, Garmisch, you know, where better could you perform? You know, there's so many people. They're so enthusiastic. I just love it. It just gives me a real energy boost. You know. It's a long weekend, it's a lot of shows, but I just love it. I absolutely love it.
That leads on nicely. So that was one of the things I wanted to ask is, obviously you've ridden for BMW for a long time, and yeah, Garmisch is kind of the biggest, BMW Motorrad Days is the biggest show for BMW.
Sure, yeah, sure.
Is there something that for you makes it particularly special, or is it the whole package there?
There's nothing I can point out, but I guess if I was to say one thing, probably the atmosphere. People ask me, I've been there so many times, and I come back and friends or fans or whatever, oh, you've just been in Garmisch. What is it all about? And I'm like, do me a favor, just go there. You know, just go there. You have to go there to experience. You have to know. You know, you speak to somebody that's been to Garmisch and they say, oh, you're just back from Garmisch. You know by talking to them, they've been there. You know by the smile on their face. You know by the way they're speaking. You know that they've been there. You know?
Big party.
My advice is just go there. You know, get to Garmisch.
Perfect. Everyone should take that advice, I think.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, if you don't want to take it from me, I mean, why are people going back there every year after year? Because it's that good, because it's so good, you know?
Perfect. And the last thing I want to ask, and I'm sure a lot of people want to know, is obviously everyone's favourite trick on a motorcycle has to be the wheelie.
I totally agree with you.
Have you got some advice for learning to wheelie, for perfecting a wheelie?
I guess to start with, you know, like you said it there, everyone wants to wheelie. I'm on the same page as you. I won't go into too much detail, but I've been to like meetings where I've sat down with people that I didn't even think this person knew what a motorcycle was. By looking at them, you know, I don't have to judge a book, but didn't even think, but yet alone, halfway through the meeting, the guy's like whispering in my ear, so please tell me, how do I wheelie my BMW, you know, how do I wheelie my GS? And I'm looking going, oh, you have a GS, okay. You know, it's amazing. And that's what I love. You know, I love that it's not just me, there's not, you know, that loves to wheelie. Anyone that has a bike, they want a wheelie, you know. I think they want a wheelie. So, but I suppose advice for wheeling, there's a lot of advice I suppose first of all, find a safe place, safe environment. Obviously not on the public roads. I know it sounds like a cliche, but you know, it's not the right place to try it. I mean, I've set up a wheelie school. I set up a wheelie school last year. I don't know if you're aware of that or not, but I set up a wheelie school last year. It's something I've been thinking about for so many years, but I just didn't do it. I didn't want to do it because I've seen all these wheelie machines and stuff, and I just wanted to give the person that real experience with it. I've got a cage on the back of the bike, a rig, which allows them to get that nice balance point in a comfortable environment without worrying about tipping back. Basically, I only set it up last year, hugely successful. There's people coming from like all over Europe to it. Yeah, and it's only set up. This year we have massive inquiries. Obviously we couldn't run it the first part of the year, but we're actually starting to run our first wheelie school now. I should say this month, we're in the 1st of July. So this 2 weeks time we have our first wheelie school, and we're going to try and get as many of them going. It's booked out. August is booked out. But we're trying to get more dates and stuff. But yeah, I mean, the wheelie school, come to the wheelie school.
That's probably the simplest answer to that question. The safest way to learn is to actually get some proper tuition at a wheelie school,
which is really important. Yeah. I mean, I get funny comments. You know, people say, "Oh, why would I pay you 300 odd quid to go and learn to wheelie for a full day when I can just buy a rig for whatever, 2 grand or 1,500 or 2 grand. And I'm like, yeah, you can buy the rig and you can spend the next 20 years learning how to do it wrong. You know, it's about the right tuition, really, really about getting the proper tuition.
Awesome. Well, thanks for talking to us, Mattie. I'm going to let you go there back to your weekend of pretending to be at Garmisch and drink some steins of beer and watch some videos of you doing your stunt show.
Yeah, definitely. I'll be tuning in. Thanks very much.